Hey, greetings, Steel Toe Nation. Dennis LaRue here, executive coach with LDR. And I just want to say thank you for all of you who have noticed I've been gone for the last couple of weeks. Took a week off, needed a break, and then the next week I wasn't feeling well. So I'm back, and here it is, Christmas, 2 days away. And you know, normally I start this off with saying why I do steel toes, why I started this. And it was because most people hated Monday. But you know what? This week everybody loves Monday. It's Christmas Eve. Most people are not working, but I'm glad for the most part that you're here. And the reason I do this, hi Mom, glad you're here. And the reason that I do this is because, well, everybody dreads Monday. So this was done on Sunday, the first day of the week, to shift your mind from the first day of the week being Monday to Sunday, giving you some motivation, some encouragement, stepping on your toes a little bit, thus the steel toes, to poke you and prod you and help you grow. But also, as my friend Trudy Menke brought up to me the other day, it's also wearing steel toes to bust down the doors to success in your life. Thank you, Trudy, for that. And you may hear a lot of background noise tonight, and here's why. I got a house full. I mean, I've got a house full. My kids are here. My grandkids are here. My daughter's best friend's kids are here. I got a house full. So you might hear some running in the hallways, some giggling and laughing and some shouting. That's okay. Isn't that what the holidays are about? So with that, this week's Steel Toes, in tune with Christmas and the holidays, is from my very favorite, Christy from Belgium. How are you, my friend? My very favorite Christmas movie of all time. I've watched it every year for at least once a year since I was like 9 years old, which is a long, long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. And it's the movie It's a Wonderful Life. I love this movie. I love it so much. And full transparency, every time I watch it, I bawl my eyes out. Makes me cry every time. Just, there is so much in it. And if you've never seen It's a Wonderful Life, you need to watch it. There are so many helps to help you grow and to give you a different perspective on life. So there you go. And those of you that watch it, you know what I'm talking about. So here's tonight's quote. Tonight's quote comes from Clarence, the AS2, Angel Second Class, from the movie It's a Wonderful Life. And he's talking to George here, and here's what he says to George. He says, "Strange, isn't it? Each man's life touches so many other lives. When he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he?" And what Clarence is talking about here, in this moment, George is at his very worst moment of his life. He's about to lose his business. He's about to go to jail. He's missing money. And on top of that, just everything is falling apart around him. He's scared. He's scared for his family. And he reaches a point where he just says, you know what, life isn't worth living. Hey, Melanie, glad you're here. And so he's just ready to give it all up. And Clarence is there, the angel, and Clarence points out to George, you know what? Things aren't as bad as they seem, but George just isn't hearing it, because unless he gets the money he needs, that's all he needs. And George made this statement. He said, I wish I was never born. I wish I was never born. And Clarence, the angel, gets an idea. Thinking outside the box, he says, okay, let's make that happen. And boom, just like that, George gets to see something that none of us have ever seen. What our lives would be like, and the people in our lives, and the circumstances that had happened in our lives because of us, as if we had never been born. And in the case of George, his little brother, who he rescued from a frozen pond from drowning, in the story, he drowned. George wasn't there to save him. And because of that, his brother, who was going to be a war hero, the people that he got the Medal of Honor for, ended up dying. There's just one of those impacts. And George got to witness over and over and over again what his life and the people in his life were like because he was never born. And he had a revelation. He realized his life wasn't as bad off as it seemed. And he said, I want to go back. I want to live again. Imagine if you were given that opportunity. Think about that for a moment. You got to go back and see what your life was like. It would give you a different perspective. It would give you a big, big perspective. Now, here's a couple of things for you for Steel Toes for the holidays. Those people that are in your life, let them know they matter. Let them know they matter. And for those of us that are going through tough seasons, we all have them. We've all gone through some tough times here in this year, years past. And you know what? Sometimes we get so caught up in the here and the now and the circumstances that we forget about the impact we've done in the past and we lose sight of the future. George did the same thing. Don't allow that to happen to you here in this season. Take a moment and realize you do matter. This movie, of anything else, says you matter. Your life matters. Because we're unique. Each one of us has a different life. Now, George had a big dream. He had a big dream in a small town, and it seemed like he could never get out of that small town. But George made decisions that kept him in that small town because he was a man of character. And he always took care of people rather than taking care of himself. Even though he had opportunity over and over again to leave, he didn't leave because he couldn't let people down. People matter. Oh, thank you, Christy. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me, my friend. And because you matter. Every one of you matter. And everyone around you matters. And everybody needs to know that they matter. So take the time this season to let people know that they matter. And also remember the little things you do. We have big dreams. Those of you that are watching, Scott, I'm glad you're here. Christy, my mom, Melanie, we all are big dreamers. And we've got big, big dreams. But don't forget, it's the little things that we do each day over time that make the biggest impact exponentially down the road. Scott, you know this. Scott, being in finance, you get compound interest. That's what we're doing. Those little things built up over time build up compound interest and have a huge impact down the road, even generational. So don't discredit those little things. And then in the case of George, be careful what you ask for, my friends. You might get it. George said, I wish I was never been born. And he got to see what life was like. Now, it woke him up. But you know what? Just be careful what you ask for. You might get it. And it may not be what you really wanted in the first place. And then ultimately, that's right, Melanie, consistency matters. And again, another thing that I pick up from this is that all of us need a Clarence sometimes in our lives. We need an independent third party that comes alongside of us and just tells it like it is and guides us through and asks us questions and gives us a little color commentary like the sportscasters to let us know what's going on. We all need that sidekick. We all need that wingman. We need that partner to help us along in those moments, whether it's to pick us up or give us a steel toe kick in the fanny and a sharp dose of reality like Clarence did for George. George finally woke up, and the movie ends, and as the movie's ending, his brother gets home after being awarded the Medal of Honor in a blizzard, drives home. Everybody's poured into George's house. It's the great storybook ending, and he holds up a glass, and everybody has a glass, and he says, a toast to my big brother George, the richest man in town. I'm already in tears at that point, and just telling you, I'm getting a little choked up even as I say it. And that's the same thing for you. It's the same thing for those around us. People aren't accidents. Celebrate the people around you. Accountability, mentorship, because those people in our lives, that accountability, that mentorship, are going to be those moments to keep you on the right, are going to be the people to keep you on the right path, so you can celebrate at the end and hold up a glass and say, Melanie, Mom, Christy, Scott, a toast to you, the richest people in town. And what I want for you this holiday season, as we move into Christmas and the holidays, New Year's coming up, and we'll be back here next week for that. But as you close out the year, to take a moment and sit back and look at all the little things you've done, all the big things you've done, the people's lives you've touched, and realize, you know what? There's a lot more to do. But take a moment to celebrate those moments that have had impact, because you've mattered and you've made a difference. I've seen it. I've seen it here just in social media. Some of you I know well enough that I've seen the things you've done. We've talked, and you've done some great and powerful things this year. Keep it up and use that to move into 2019. But as you celebrate the holidays, just sit back, take a moment, and remember, peace on earth, goodwill towards men. Remember that peace that passes all understanding, and enjoy that moment with joy, with love, with your loved ones, in your faith, whatever that looks like. And let the people closest to you know they matter. And you know what? I'm going to take this moment to say to each one of you, you matter. Because I know that if each one of you were pulled out of my life, or I was pulled out of your lives, our lives would look so different than they are today. And I want you to know that you matter, and I appreciate you. I love you guys. And I wish you a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. And we're talking about It's a Wonderful Life. And the blessing every week comes from that movie. And it's more than appropriate to close tonight, Steel Toes, with that special blessing. I pray the blessing of bread, that you know no hunger. Pray the blessing of salt, that your life would be full of flavor and that you would add flavor to others. And I pray the blessing of wine, that joy and prosperity would be yours every day forever. And then I add this at the end, and that the love of God would be your portion this day and forevermore. Thank you so much for watching today, for being a part of Steel Toes. The blog will be posted probably later this evening, maybe in the morning, because Jamie is downstairs playing with her grandbabies, and guess what? Playing with the grandbabies is going to take precedence over getting the blog posted. But you want to watch this again on the blog, but also the blog has a little bit different spin on what I shared with you. And so I want you to go and read it and enjoy it. And I just want to wish you again a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, God's blessings to you all. Thank you so much, and have a great, great holiday season. See you next week.